So thank you everyone for your time coming here on a Monday evening, particularly when the sun is shining. It's very much appreciated. I am Hannah. I'm one of the co-founders of Kiroku, and I'm a dentist by background myself. So graduated from Bristol Dental School in 2014, and did my VT in Central London, did DCT role, and then went into practice. But fairly quickly, now about 9 years ago, we started Kiroku. And what Kiroku does very broadly, and I'm going to do a demo, is we create software that makes the process of being a dentist a little bit easier, we hope. So it helps streamline all of the record keeping, all of the clinical admin you have to do as part of your work, just makes that as easy as possible. And I'll show you what I mean by that, because that's a kind of very general thing that I've just described. Before I do that as well, I just wanted to talk about the offer that we provide for DFTs and young dentists. So you guys are all in your final year of university, so you'll be graduating fairly soon. Very, very exciting. So ordinarily, I would say, here, scan a QR code. This will make you eligible for being able to sign up for the deal. And typically, just so you're all aware, we do that in September. So you've just started practice, you're just starting to think about notes, and that's when it will be available to you to sign up. Apologies. And so you will be made aware when the DFT deal goes live. To anyone who didn't hear it, my apologies, I've got a child in the call as well. Yeah, you will automatically be made aware when the DFT deal is live. And what that deal is, crucially, is Kiroku is entirely free for your entire DFT year. The only thing that you have to do is sign up. When you get the email that we'll send you, you'll sign up, and you just have to do 30 appointments in 30 days, which will be very easy for you to do. So it'll be free for your entire DFT year. And then what's more is, once you finish your DFT year and you go into your first year after DFT, it will be 50% off. So all you need to do is do the activation at the very start, and then you'll have it free for the entire year. And then we'll make you aware when the next deal is available to you as well. So amazing that you're signed up for this, because you'll just be kind of, you're taken through that whole journey. You don't really have to do anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you Kiroku. So hopefully you can now see the Kiroku website. Now, the reason why I'm showing you the website is because Kiroku is web-based. You can just access it by going to Google Chrome, going to the website, trykiroku.com, and you will then be presented with this screen. And so whatever the practice management system is in the practice that you're going to be doing your DFT year in, it doesn't matter. Kiroku will work alongside anything. And so because you guys are going to be brand new to the system, you would be clicking try for free, and that would then take you through the sign up process. Now, again, you don't need to worry about doing this right now. Just wait until you get the email, and that will guide you through the whole sign up process and what you need to do. That will also give you the DFT code for this year, which is not live yet. So you'd be signing up, and once you're signed up, you'd just be logging into your account. So let's assume it's now mid-September, you've signed up for your Kiroku account, you're now logging in to get started with your notes. Now, Kiroku, as I said, helps streamline record keeping and the admin you have to do as part of your day, and it does that in a variety of different ways. But the main thing that I'm going to show you is the clickable workflows. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this to begin with is because actually, when you're brand new to practice and you're doing these things over and over again for the first time, having that structure to guide you through the system is so important, and it will just really make things so much easier. Once that becomes second nature to you, then actually you can use the voiced products. And again, I'll show you what all of this means, because right now I think I'm using a lot of words that might not fully have meaning. But you can either click into a workflow, and then that will present you with a template that is specific to you. So what I'm showing you is what I genuinely use in practice. And so this is customized to the way I do things. So it reflects the questions I ask, the information I give. Yours will be reflected would reflect exactly what you do. And actually, we set up loads of the DFT templates to really be appropriate for exactly the type of dentistry you guys are going to be doing. So you can go through and say, okay, I've got Rama, who is nursing for me today, and I've got a patient who's been booked in for a checkup. So you can see it's just really easy to enter the information. When you compare this to Word document templates, which is what a lot of practices do, this is so much easier to enter that information. So you can go through and say, okay, the patient has told me today that they've got some pain. So if I scroll down, this in Kiroku is what we call linked information. So specific to the fact that I've recorded that the patient has attended in pain, it's outputted all of my history of pain questions. So you can see it just guides you through the conversation you'll be having with the patient, making sure that you're capturing all the information you need. So this really will make creating good quality notes really easy for you in your first few weeks and months and potentially years in practice. So the reason why I said this over voice to begin with is because it really will help guide you in what you need to be saying, rather than just capturing what is happening. It will provide that structure for you. So let's say I've got a patient who's told me that they've got pain from the upper right foot. So I've just got to move my little video call screen there. And let's say the patient's told me that started a couple of weeks ago. It's sharp, it's not lasting very long, set off by hot and cold, not interfering with sleep. And let's say I didn't ask about painkillers. You can see it guides you through making sure you're capturing the full pain history. And then you can see it'll just guide you through ensuring that you're capturing everything in your medical history, social history. And something else I want to show you is with links, not only does it come out immediately like I just showed you with the pain history, but actually I've set it up such that if I've recorded the patient as a smoker, I know that I'm going to be giving smoking cessation advice. So I can go through. So let's say the patient is smoking, they don't drink any alcohol, but they've got too much sugar in their diet. So if I scroll ahead to my discussion, you can see that it suggested cessation advice that I can give in that situation. So smoking cessation advice, dietary information. Again, I can remove that out if I didn't give the information. I can add detail if I would like to, but it just helps streamline that kind of repetitive part of the note taking. So that's how I would go through and do my notes. I'm just going to quickly go to a draft. So this is a useful feature if you need to kind of pick up halfway through an appointment. But right now I'm going to just show you a completed set of notes. So you can see that's everything finished. So you don't have to watch me go through a full appointment, but that's ensured that I've captured everything, my discussion, my diagnosis, my radiographs, everything's been populated. How I would then get this into the practice management system of your DFT practice, you press copy notes. And then if I scroll down, I'm just going to close this little modal. You can see this is how it would paste into the text box of the practice management system that you're using. So it comes out really clearly laid out, very, very easy to read. Now, I mentioned that there is also voice. And so I'll show you a very, very brief demo of that. But really, what we recommend to all of our DFT dentists is get started with the clickable workflows, because it will provide a guide as well as speeding up record keeping. Right now, that guide is as important, if not more important, than just speeding things up. Right now, you want to get things right, really lay that foundation before you start kind of speeding things up and getting really efficient. But once that happens, and I'm sure it'll happen very quickly, you can then use a feature like Freestyle, and I can start just recording. So I'll do a very, very quick summary, one-sided conversation. Patient attended today, describing that they had pain that started kind of upper left area, and they had mentioned that they had a bit of sensitivity at the last appointment, but this time it turned into more pain, particularly when they have anything sweet. And it can just be a kind of a low level ache, and they think that it feels a bit nervy and they want to get it looked at. Okay. So you can see just on the left, there is the full transcript. Now that's not the note, but if you then from this, I can say, okay, I want it to start filling in my adult. So You can then select the template you want it to follow, and then it will take a few moments, and then it will generate your notes for you. And again, you can see that that was probably about 15 seconds of dialogue. What we would actually recommend is that you're using this over the course of an entire appointment. It's capturing the back and forth conversation between you and your patient, and it will generate your notes for you. So that at the end of the appointment, you can see everything that is relevant there is captured. What's also useful, again, when you're making that transition from clickable to voice, and you still want a bit of guidance, we've got a really great feature here for you as well. And so this is called clarifying questions. So it will go through and say, actually, you didn't go through, and I mean, obviously I didn't do a huge amount in terms of examination here, but it's really drawing my attention to things that actually would have been useful, diagnostic tests and things that I could have done. So it'll just give you a few pointers. Again, you can choose to just ignore that, but it could be a very useful thing to go through. And if I wanted to, let's say I was halfway through the appointment, I could just restart, make sure that I address those things and go through the rest of it with the patient. So that is voice as well. So loads of different ways you can use voice. I'm not going to get into it too much because I don't think it's where is the best place for you guys to get started. But that's how the system works. A few other things I wanted to mention very quickly. So the templates I've shown you, as I said, are set up for me. You would set yours up for you. So we will start you with a starting point that's appropriate for VTs, for where you guys are at, but you can still go through and edit these. So you'd be able to do that by going to tweak, templates, edit, and then you can make the explanation of perio specific to the language you use. You can make sure the materials are relevant to what you're using in your practice, but you can really make them so much more robust from a medico-legal perspective. Another thing that I just want to draw your attention to is just this chat symbol right here. If there's anything that you've got questions about, and we expect that you will, just click into this and you'll be able to send a message to one of the team. And we've got quite a few dentists on the team. We've got a lot of non-dentists as well who are here to support you. And so just anything that you're unsure about, feel free to message us. Last thing that I want to mention, just specific to DFTs and where you guys are at. As I said, I don't think voice is going to be the first thing that you get started with, but when that time is there, from just something for you to be aware of, you would have to set up a microphone. They can plug into any desktop computer, and we'll send you some links from Amazon, so you can just buy them. They're about £25. And then in terms of consent and how you would use that from a patient perspective, from a medico-legal perspective, you don't actually have to consent patients to using transcription when they're in the room. But obviously you can have a microphone potentially on your lapel. And so it's just common courtesy, in my opinion, to inform patients. So I will just very quickly and simply just say, I'm using some technology to write my notes. Is that okay? And I've never had an issue with it. But from a medico-legal perspective, that's doing more than you need to in terms of consent. Because at Kiroku, we don't store any audio. So that's as kind of lightweight as it needs to be. I'm going to stop sharing my screen there. Any questions based on what I have said so far? If anybody's got any questions, please feel free to send them just in the chat. And in case you've not used Google Meets before, just lower right where you can see a little kind of speech bubble. If you click on there, that's where you can message should you have any questions. I'm also just into that chat going to put my email address. Do feel free, if something comes up afterwards or you don't want to discuss it in this call, feel free to email me, and we're very happy to go through. But just kind of summarize everything. Use Kiroku during your VT year. It's free. It will make your life so much easier. It will guide you through record keeping, not just capture whatever you're doing. It will do more than that. And I think that whilst you are just getting started, that will be hugely useful. And again, do be aware that it's completely free for you. And so yourselves, any of your colleagues, any of your fellow students, do make people aware of that, because it can be such a useful tool for people when you are getting started in clinical practice. So final thing to say is you guys don't need to do anything for now. Relax, enjoy your summer, but just keep your eyes peeled for an email from Kiroku when the time comes. Enjoy your evening. Thank you. Thank you so much.